What is up, everybody? Welcome back to racenews.com and welcome back to another one of our previews as we do the big one. That's right, the big preview, the one we've all been waiting for. Race 9 at Santa Anita on Saturday, November 4th. It is the Breeders' Cup Classic, the richest race in the United States, $6 million, going a mile and a quarter, grade 1, obviously. Field of 13 now scratched down to 12. Arcangelo did not, he did enter, but he's not going to be able to make it to the gate with an injury there, and he is now retired. So we got a field of 12 now. The rail was where Arcangelo drew, so everybody just goes down one slot. So now, Zandon has the rail. But anyway, listen, it's a wide open event this year. There's no doubt about it. I think Arcangelo being taken away from the race does hurt the odds on everybody else because he was definitely going to take a lot of money. On top, and this is a horse I have not picked to win a race in a long time, a stakes race for that matter. But on top, I'm going to go number 3, Wide Barrio. Look, I think it's as simple as this. I think he could make you look foolish because, he has been a little bit consistent in his career. But you look at his race in the Whitney, if he runs that race, I don't think they beat him. Is there really a reason to think he won't run that race? Now, I think the big argument is, yeah, there sure is, because he just hasn't done that very often. However, if you look at his training pattern leading up to the Whitney and you look at his training pattern now, it's pretty similar. And, I don't think anybody really thought he would show up the Whitney and run like he did. But look, he did. And he got the perfect kind of trip that you want, where he's not on the lead, but he's stalking the pace, just kind of waiting for the pace setters to kind of come back to him. He's not too far behind. He just looks like a classic winner. And I really, as I looked at the replays of all these other horses, that race in the Whitney was the one that just stuck out like a sore thumb. So listen, I get it. I'll take the chance that he's going to not fire that kind of race and maybe he won't run that well. And it is what it is. The other reason why I think you can just kind of do what I just kind of laid out and say, hey, I'll just take a chance in this race. Who are you scared of? Nobody, right? I mean, look, even if Wide Barrio kind of regresses a little bit, he can still run with these horses. There's nobody to be scared of. So if we're going to get 4 or 5 to 1 on Wide Barrio, we know, we've seen it with our own eyes. He's ran the best race, even though it was just a single one race better than everybody else. If he shows up with that again and you're getting that kind of price, I just don't see why you don't take a shot here. So I'm going to go number 3, Wide Barrio on top. However, obviously, I don't think there's any killers in this race. I don't think there's any locks in this race at all. The number 12 Arabian Knight is who I'll put in second. He will now, break from the 11 hole with the scratch of Arcangelo. It's not ideal, but I do think he's going to get out there and get a pretty good spot. I think he can clear most of the other horses. I don't think he'll get hung all that wide. You also know at Santa Anita, it's a long run into that first turn. So with his speed, I think as long as he gets out of the gate okay, he's probably going to get a halfway decent trip. I'm not really worried about the post. What I'm worried about is I don't think he's going to get an easy lead. And when he hasn't got the lead or an easy lead the one time, he kind of faded back. Also, it's just, look, I think he's doing really well. I think he's projected to move forward, but we really haven't seen a race from him, that's just out of this world, right? Whether it be speed figure or visually, the race 3 back in the Southwest, sure, he won, but he really didn't beat a whole lot as in the slop. Haskell, he came back, he lost. He did win the Pacific Classic, but it was not an eye-catching performance. So, but none of these horses have really had eye-catching performances. So that kind of leads you to think, okay, he's projecting forward, working well. He'll probably show up and run well. So I've got number 12, Arabian Knight in second. A horse I didn't think I'd put in my top 4 that I am now, the number 6, Saudi Crown. That's what I'm going to put in third for this race here. I don't think he's really optimal at a mile and a quarter, but at Santa Anita, going 2 turns, I think he's faster than Arabian Knight. I think he gets the lead. If they kind of just let him go and they all kind of stalk him, which I think a lot of them will do, I don't think they'll go out there and set that suicidal pace. He might just take him gate to wire. At 12 to 1, I think he's got a shot. Number 6, Saudi Crown in third for me. Then finally, I will go the Japanese route with Ushba Tesoro. I'll put him in fourth. There's a chance this thing does kind of melt down from a pace standpoint if Saudi Crown and Arabian Knight really go knock heads. I kind of mentioned, I think Wide Barrio kind of tuck into that stalking position. He's not going to go knock heads with those horses, but he'll sit there maybe third or fourth. I think that does set it up, though, if those two go after it, and maybe Wide Barrio gets involved in it a little bit as well. Ushba Tesoro, to me, is the best closer in the race. And I know people really like Zanda, and I think Zanda can jump up and hit the board. I think a horse like even Senior Buscador can kind of come closing. If you look at Ushba Tesoro, what he did in the Dubai World Cup, coming from way out of it to win that race, I think he's a pretty darn solid closer. We've seen a really nice prep from him. He's going to be on my tickets. Number 8, Ushba Tesoro. He's going to be in 4th for me. All right, let's recap it. The Breeders' Cup Classic. Number 3, Wida Barrio. Going to be on top for me, hoping he can get a nice stocking trip. Number 12, Arabian Knight in 2nd. Number 6, Saudi Crown in 3rd. And the number 8, Ushba Tesoro in 4th. All right, that'll do it for our coverage of the Breeders' Cup Classic this year. We've had the winner the last 2 years. I would argue much, much easier time, especially last year. That was a free square. Knicks go a little bit harder, but I felt like not too hard of a race. This year, much, much different. Very, very tough to get this one right, but we're going to give it a shot with Wida Barrio. So, everybody hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. Stay tuned to our coverage of the Breeders' Cup. We've got Magic live at Santa Anita giving you reports, one of the most accurate websites in the country right now, because we have eyes on the ground there at Santa Anita. So tune in to the Breeders' Cup for all the most accurate information that's happening in the mornings. And good luck, everybody, if you're playing the Breeders' Cup on Friday or Saturday.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track. It's Breeders' Cup season, and we've got wall-to-wall coverage of the World Championships. Subscribe to YouTube.com/RacingDudes right now. Click the notification bell. You never want to miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.